So, it seems like what I've been speculating over the past couple of weeks, past couple of weeks, I would say the past 2 weeks, that the WWE, again, has done this survey thing. They did this survey to get, viewer, opinions and what they think about the product and what they could do better and all that shit. And that over the past 2 weeks, I've been really indifferent about the product because I feel like the ball is rolling on giving us, the viewers, a really good show. Now, you can go to whoever's, Twitter poll of whether you like something or not. And if people will always just not be happy with the product. Over the past couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking a lot of weeks. Say since TLC, because TLC was a really good show, but the build-up sucked. What's been going on after TLC? The first 2 weeks, it's the holiday season. It's just a really weird clusterfuck of a time because it's holiday season and it's kind of a dip in wrestling until, say, the Royal Rumble. In the past 2 weeks, I haven't been able to give my honest opinion about it because I see progress. And today was a day where I could sit back and say that I really extremely enjoyed this show tonight. And all it took, honestly, all it really took is just some effort, some real effort. Someone going man, fuck this. We got to do something about this garbage. That's all it took. Someone to get hyped. Someone to be yo, let's fucking do this. Let's take steps in the right direction. Give these fans a really good show. We don't have to necessarily give them what they want because still, I think in the end, it's about what they want as a company. But we can give these fans at least something to chew on for a minute. Longer matches, people in certain positions, the divas getting more play, bringing back people, all this stuff. And last week was like that. The week before was like that. And I stood indifferent. I couldn't say I liked it or not, but it was certain things that I didn't agree with. And I will say tonight, it's not that it's 100% I agree with this show. Because I don't. But did I enjoy this? Wow, I did. I mean, it was almost kind of weird. That moment where I was am I actually enjoying this? Am I actually feeling this sensation of enjoyment? Ain't that a bitch? So, hello, boys and girls. You're now watching Peter's Raw Recap. And Peter's Raw Recap is a very positive one, to say the least. Now, before you hit that fucking stop button, that stop button, or you click off, because I know you want to hear some gripes, and some things be gripe. Some things I will gripe about. But for the most part, just hear me out on, say, what I've been feeling over the past 2 weeks moving forward. And the lineup tonight and the progression of things, okay? The progression of things. It's the Royal Rumble season. So right now we're trying to figure out who the hell is in the Rumble, how the hell they're going to be in the Rumble, why they're going to be in the Rumble. We need to find out who's going to get the rub. Who's everyone going to decide who's going to be the number one contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And we need to draw out what's going on in the mid-card, what's going on in the tag team division, what's going on with the Intercontinental belt, what's going on with the U.S. belt. Not much going on with the U.S. belt. Honestly, just no. Intercontinental belt, whole other story. They got a storyline there, and we need to figure out how that moves forward going into the Royal Rumble. Tonight's show was from San Antonio. Oh yeah, the Divas belt too. Tonight's show is from San Antonio. And San Antonio is one of those places where it's like I'm never really looking forward for Raw to be there because the San Antonio fans aren't the best fan base in terms of like energy. A lot of the time they're just kind of sitting on their hands and they'll cheer when it's time to cheer and they'll boo when it's time to boo. They're normally a very, very, like San Antonio, like the rest of Texas, a very, very babyface, babyface driven market. Like whoever's your babyface, they're going to get nothing but cheered. And it's just one of those things, just one of those cities. They're like, fuck this. If you're the bad guy, I'm going to boo your ass. If you're the good guy, I'm cheering you. So needless to say that this was a very pro Roman Reigns, fan base. So Stephanie comes out, and before her, when our music, that worst ever music of any WWE talent of all time, honestly, that fucking music hit, I just go like, God damn it, why does she still use this music? But I guess it's part of her heel. that fucking music just drives, not only she drives me crazy, but that music drives me fucking crazy too. But before she could even take 5 steps down the ramp, Roman Reigns' music hits. And he comes down, basically just says, just fuck you, I'm coming out. Bully Reigns. And it's just funny. I still think he's kind of he's being positioned not really as a conqueror, but as a bully. And, you got Stephanie McMahon, even though she's like the bad guy, but she's still a woman. She's still not someone who's a threat, even though she slaps the hell out of guys and she cuts their nuts. But she's still not really a threat. And Roman Reigns comes out, and he just basically is threat. I mean, he's overwhelming, and he's very much a threat to her, physically, and she doesn't really question if he fucking backtalks her. He's like the only person since he slapped the shit out of him. She's kind of been like, whoa, like I'm not fuck with you, dude. You might just tear my head off, because Triple H isn't around. She doesn't have someone to what's the word, to sort of defend her and say what Triple H would be, and she doesn't have any friends in the back because she fucking pissed all those people off. So it's like she's kind of standing on her own. The only people that are actually would even think to come to her aid right now would be her father, and that's it. That's really it. Her brother's nowhere to be fucking found. But he goes to the ring. He's like, hey, bitch, you don't need to be in here. No one needs you out here. I'm here because I'm here to defend my fucking belt. So the only person I need to deal with tonight is your dad. So fuck you. Get the fuck out the way. Get your dad out here. She addresses that he's not in the building yet, and that whether you like it or not, I'm the boss and you're the help. And once you lose that belt tonight, I'm going to basically treat you like my father did your father Sika of the Wild Samoans. And Roman Bully Reigns responds, well, check this shit out, ho. Hook or crook, I'm winning this fucking belt. This belt means everything to me, and that's all that matters. And if your dad tries to screw me, like last week you had to pick him up from the damn police, you're going to have to pick his ass up from the hospital next time. So watch your fucking back. Your dad watch his back too. So that's what's really good. That's the opening segment. It actually flew by really fast. First match we get is Neville versus Owens, a rematch of last week. Again, I still feel like this is a very extended storyline with Neville, Owens, and Dean Ambrose. I feel like this will be a match. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Neville came into this match with the win over Owens clean in fucking 20 seconds. Owens gets his win back. He gets his win back tonight. and Dean Ambrose is on commentary, right? He's out there. He's pretty overwhelming out there, which great match, by the way. Really good match. But Dean Ambrose is just they had his mic too high or something. I don't know. It was just really, really distracting because he's like, Ambrose, right? So Kevin Owens gets his win back. Pop-up powerbomb. But meanwhile, there was one 450 splash from the apron to the outside. Fucking ridiculous. And after he defeats Neville with the pop-up powerbomb, he goes after him. Now, what happens next is that Dean Ambrose comes for the save. And I don't know if they're going to show this on Botchamania or not, but he does a suicide dive, and he must have ate some Wheaties or something. He must have had like a fucking what do you call those fucking things? Well, anyway, he just had a lot of coffee. And he fucking just overshoots his suicide dive. And I don't know if Owens kind of got out of the way or not. He's a big boy. He could take a punch. But I think he could have done nothing about it. Ambrose just overshot his ass. It's fucking hilarious. Well, anyway, this segment ends with the momentum shifting back to Ambrose, him laying him on the table that Kevin Owens cleared out, and he dropped the fucking big ass elbow on the table, destroying the table, and that was it with that segment. Last Thursday on SmackDown, both Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose get one over on Ambrose. Does he get one over? No. Actually, Owens last Monday came and attacked Ambrose. So he hasn't had his revenge yet. Like, SmackDown was the League of Jobbers. So he finally got his revenge back. So you know how it goes with Even Stevens. I think Owens has his beat down. Now Ambrose has his sort of redemption beat down. But they're already talking about, so you at the Royal Rumble. But I still feel you want to make this exciting, you want to make this cool, you better add Neville. You better add Neville. Because I feel like Neville can be the presence of like that high flyer. Very much like last year's three-way triple threat with Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, and John Cena. Neville can be Seth Rollins and can keep things real interesting. But he had to tape ribs. He had to go down in flames. Even Stevens bookings, it makes sense that next either Thursday or next Monday he goes, I beat you, whatever. I deserve a spot for that Intercontinental belt. And I'm not even fucking like, what's the word? What do you want to call it? Like, I'm not fantasy booking. I just feel like it just makes sense. All right. Vince finally arrives. JoJo, No Brother Zone, shows up her fine ass. God almighty. Someone posted a picture online of her talking to Vince, and you could see how great her body was. It was just like amazing. Well, anyway, he talks about how the charges are dropped, something that Stephanie McMahon mentioned earlier. The charges were dropped from the New York police, and that last week, how I had to deal with the law tonight in this match as a special guest referee between Sheamus and Roman Reigns, I am the law. We get this thing, it's called the Hateful Eight. The eight, basically, who are our heels? Because apparently, I guess Quentin Tarantino, crazy, is it Quentin Hateful Eight? Like I guess they're in cahoots with the WWE with advertisement. And on SmackDown, they started a top 4 into a top 8 count of basically who are the heels of the WWE. In case you don't know, these guys are not good. Here's 8 of them, and they list basically all the top heels. Sheamus ended up being number 1, So there you go. For you idiots who don't know the difference between the baby faces and the heels, go back and check out this Hateful Eight promotion and see who the top 8 heels are, or the guys you just should be booing, all right? Because WWE did no fucking favors by making sure that these people are heels, right? They don't get heel heat. You know what I'm saying? They don't fucking And plus, 9 times out of 10, they're getting cheered. Like Paige. Paige is on that list. The New Day's on this list. Like they're getting cheered, right? Oh well. Titus O'Neil versus Stardust. Now Stardust has, I think, been injured for the last 2-3 weeks, and they dropped the storyline with Titus. I guess going into the holidays, it was like the entire Cosmic Wasteland against Titus, Neville, and somebody else in that fix. But Stardust, I had to go down for a bit, and I'm not even sure what the fuck Titus been doing, but nevertheless, they finally have their match. Whatever the shit that they were doing like a couple of weeks ago, it all finally made it to the ring. And you get Clash of the Titus, and that's that. You know, and then this becomes a very mid-card heavy show. Like, just heavy with mid-card. And as much as I think as this product has improved over the past 3 weeks, they still need to improve on making the legitimacy of their fucking mid-card. Like, give your mid-card more fucking meat to it, man. Give something to gnaw on, because like the way you have it set up now is like right now we're in the process of trying to take your fucking mid-card serious. Like everyone from Ryback, The Miz, fucking Neville, fucking Kevin Owens, you know, you name it. You name anybody, Alberto Del Rio, you know, you name the motherfucker. R-Truth, Bo Dallas. We got to take these guys serious. And in order for us to take these guys serious, that, hands down, I understand that the WWE has its way of wrestling, the way that it wants its workers to work. They are not ROH. They are not New Japan. They are not PWG. And no, they are not Evolve. And they are definitely not NXT. They work at a certain pace. But man, just a smidgen. Just a smidget. Very much like this Owens versus Neville match, which I thought was fantastic because you know what? They picked up the work rate just a little bit. It didn't need to be that long. But still, they just turned up the work rate a little bit. And in order, seriously, in order for all these mid-card guys to get taken just a little bit serious, just to get a little bit of attention, for me to be like, you know what? I want to watch a pay-per-view because the mid-card feud, that ain't got to be good writing, but at least the work rate of the mid-carders are up just a touch. I think we will have ourselves a fucking, you know, 8 out of 10 show, 7 out of 10, not even 8 and 9 out of 10 shows. It's that simple. We'll see moving forward if that's going to be the case. Because ultimately, those call-ups of like Hideo Itami and fucking Sami Zayn and fucking Finn Balor, that's what's going to come, because they're not going to go to the main event. They're not going to start in the main event. They'll probably get like a good feud starting off, but they're going to be mid-card guys. And their work rate is going to be through the fucking roof. And these people on the fucking roster now are going to have to keep up, right? Very much what's happening in the Divas division. Hell, 1 year ago, there were some divas on this roster that are not on this roster today. And any diva that comes to the roster is going to have to keep up with whatever work rate that these divas are working on right now. So, with that said, moving forward, Becky Lynch and Charlotte in the back, and I think basically Becky Lynch secretly set a match against Charlotte. Now, if we've been keeping up with the Becky Lynch storyline, if you've been listening to what I've been saying, Becky Lynch has been going through the motions of having to want to win legitimately. Her relevance, and from what, say, Paige said of her, that you're the least relevant. Her relevancy comes with her kicking ass, and kicking ass legitimately. And since she's still been rolling with Charlotte, since PCB is split up, Charlotte's been a dirtbag. And the first time they met up and wrestled, this was right after the Paige match, her defending the belt. She all of a sudden became a scumbag with her dad. She won dirty. She's been fighting, and I think she got a win over Brie, but she just lost to Sasha Banks last week because of outside interference from the rest of Team Bad. She finally gets her match with Charlotte. So Charlotte's not happy about it, and she's like, "Why? You think I'm gonna beat you?" She's like, "Oh, you saying this is totally in the spirit of competition?" Becky's like, "Yes, this is for the spirit of competition." And she's like, "All right, that's what's up." Ric Flair shows up, woo, startles Becky Lynch. So we get the match with Rick at ringside. Another long match. This match, honestly, is funny because we all know it's about. She is the title holder. If she does beat Charlotte, she becomes the number one contender. So there are stakes. There are stakes here, right? If Becky beats Charlotte, she has a legitimate shot at that belt. Paige is nowhere to be found. Sasha Banks is still not going to get that push. Becky Lynch is getting the push right now, okay? And this is the storyline that's going on. So the match was better. The crowd was more into it. I mean, in San Antonio, it's still, they kind of sitting on their hands, but it's better. It was better than, say, what happened in that Brooklyn show. And Becky Lynch actually gets the win. She gets a handful of tights, but only because Ric Flair actually grabs her foot. So she's like, fuck this. All right. But she rolls up, she grabs the tights. You know, eye for an eye, like, if you want to win legitimately, win legitimately. And I hope they carry on the storyline as like, I know your dad grabbed my foot. I felt that I had to return the favor, but that should eat at her. That should eat at her because she's a sports. I mean, she's trying to be sportsman-like, right? So what happens is afterwards, she gets the fucking pin. The roll-up. Ric Flair has a fucking hissy fit outside. Charlotte fucking just kicks her in the back and then just beats the living shit out of her as Ric Flair just screams woo. So I guarantee that this will be our Divas Championship match moving forward. I was almost hoping that at some point she was going to come around and just be like, you know what? Hook or crook, you got to win these. But we'll move forward with that. We get Vince and Sheamus backstage, and Vince basically gives him the rules. No low blows, no this, no that, no that. Ryback versus The Big Show. Yeah. Big Show walks out on last week's match. Ryback wants a rematch, so they get it. But all of a sudden, the fucking Wyatt show up. And they go after Ryback. They beat the living shit out of him. They beat the living shit out of the Big Show. Which I thought was kind of off a little bit because I feel like Big Show's in a position where he's like, can be the biggest heel in the company. Please retire, Chance. Dude, get the fuck out of here. We can't stand your ass. And I even tweeted or even mentioned in last Wednesday's Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, I think episode 72, that this guy he's not in a position where he can flip back to being a babyface because people just want him gone. So they could just keep that heel heat on him and just, have him to be the big bad motherfucker in the Royal Rumble. But, man, you got the Wyatts coming in and fucking beating him down to take away his heel heat. So now all of a sudden, are you really thinking that, WWE, are you really thinking that the Big Show is going to get babyface sympathy because of a Wyatt beatdown? You got another thing coming. And if there is a little bit of babyface sympathy because he caught a beatdown from the Wyatts, it's still going to be heel heat, but the amount of people that will actually feel sorry for him is going to just throw that entire thing off. Oh, they could have left that alone. They could have done without. You know what they could have done? They could have had Bray Wyatt basically look at the Big Show and heel form, heel fashion, just sort of put his hands up. It's like, dude, I want no parts of this. You can have Ryback and him just slither out because, hey, even though he's the biggest athlete, he still 1 against 4 right now. He could have slid out like the fucking snake that he is and just kept his heel heat. But nope, WWE had to lay down the beatdown, and the Wyatts, I guess all of them will be in the Royal Rumble. we find out who the fuck is in the Royal Rumble again. We get the League. They just straight up call them the League of Nations. Rusev and ADR versus the Usos. And if you've been keeping up, the Usos haven't been winning matches. The only thing they've won in the past couple of weeks is the fucking tag team Slammy of the Year, tag team of the year. And they ain't even deserve that. They just keep getting their asses handed to them by the League. I mean, the League is making them look like some Uso bitches. And this happened here. This, what? There's it's a good match. I mean, nevertheless, you see the Usos, they're coming in so much into their own right now. But so many injuries, setbacks, and then the storyline of the League just running amok as heels. Great match. There's a point where there's a reverse of the border stomp. Again, the Tree of Woe stomp that ADR does. Into a super kick, into a frog splash that was just a really good that was a really good sequence. But that gets broken up by Rusev, who super kicks the living shit out of Jay doing a suicide dive. Just super kicks the shit out of him. And then Jay tries to go out. He does a thing, but he ends up on the ropes. He catches the border stomp in between the middle of the ropes. And ADR and Rusev get the victory. Nothing much happens after that. They just celebrate, and then that's it. So Usos lose another match. Maybe there's a storyline there. Maybe something's going on within the Usos and them moving forward and how they're going to deal with that, because they're still super hot as a tag team. Be too early to say to break them up, and it's too soon. I think it would be pretty silly to turn them heel. They're still red hot favorites. Losing should in fact give us a reason to cheer for them more as baby faces as they road to redemption back to the tag team championships. Ziggler, oh yeah, this is the surprise of the night. We get Ziggler, right? And then we get fucking Heath Slater, right? I guess in the house shows they've been showing someone posted a photo of Axl Rose, Axl Rose. What the fuck is wrong with me? Curtis Axel, Rose, Adam Rose, Bo Dallas, and Heath Slater as this jobber squad sort of faction. Someone posted what would you call this? But that's what we're doing at the house shows. They finally break it out tonight. So, which I think is a good thing. The League of Jobbers is what League of Nations is nothing but the League of Jobbers. If you want to get the League of Jobbers, may as well get the Jobbers the fuck out there. At least it will be entertaining. There's nothing entertaining right now about ADR or Rusev or Sheamus. Really, it isn't. Just isn't. Or even Wade Barrett, who's still fucked up. He didn't make it to TV today. But Slater comes out with Bo Dallas, Rose, and Axel. And they're all at ringside basically cheering on Heath Slater as he wins with a distraction roll-up. Rose gets on the apron, then Dallas gets on the apron, and then he rolls his ass up. Heath Slater gets a win over Dolph Ziggler as Dolph Ziggler plummets further and further and further down the card. Whoever the fuck cereal you pissed in, man. Who the fuck ever cereal you pissed in. Man. Whew. Dude. They all cut these really weird promos. Axel cuts a promo. He's like, once I was lost, and now I'm found. They unleashed the chains. They unleashed the chains. They unleashed the chains. It's all great stuff. Bo Leave. You got fucking man. It was hilarious. I would say that was the most entertaining part of the night. They unleashed the chains. And then Heath Slater says something like, trending worldwide, social outcast. So that's their little, I guess that's their little posse right now. Man, I need to get through this. New Day, fucking with people with a gong backstage. I don't like these guys any longer. we get a spot where Vince is in the back with Roman Reigns, and he's telling him the rules like he told Sheamus. Then the New Day come out, and it's like they wasted all our time with the fucking picking on Mike Tyson, who posted a video of him falling on one of those like rolling hoverboards or whatever. You know what else fell flat on its ass? This goddamn segment, until they started doing a countdown for something. I guess their own like New Day, New Year countdown. And when it hit 4, you get the Y2J countdown. Bring the walls there. Bring down the walls. Fucking Y2J returns, and he basically shits on the New Day. A deserved fucking burial of this bullshit that has happened with such a cool gimmick. That gimmick was so cool. And now it's just a bunch of bumbling buffoons. They should be called the Truth Day, because they're just 3 R-Truths right now. And like they're just not at all entertaining to me. They can be entertaining to y'all all day. I'm serious. Just go back a couple of episodes, man. I was in love with these guys. And now, again, just not doing. And again, in a city like San Antonio, who was like, man, fuck heels, it was like you could hear a fucking pin drop. You could hear their crickets, man. You could hear their crickets when they were shooting that promo. Y2J shows up, and he's like, yeah, dog, this is what it's all about. He cuts a promo, basically, he always cuts that promo when he returns. The same one he cut when he showed up and went one-on-one with The Rock. Y2J is here to save the day. Rudy Tooty Booty. Remember that, folks. He says Rudy Tooty Booty to the fucking New Day. That looks like that's going to be their new like heel chant, Rudy Tooty Booty. Then Y2J lets us know that he's in the Royal Rumble. We get the New Day versus Kalisto and the Dudley Boys, and another great long match. I think this shit gets about like 13 minutes. And seriously, the work rate was really high with the New Day. The work rate was really high with the Dudley Boys. The work rate, dude, it's Kalisto. We get it. All the baby faces had amazing hot tags. Bubba Ray had a really awesome hot tag. He got the fucking bionic elbow that was pretty fun. You got Devon fucking clearing house, great hot tag. Kalisto, great hot tag, but there was a moment where his hot tag cooled down. He got caught by Big E doing a suicide dive, and Big E ran full force and just drove poor little Kalisto into the barricade. I'm surprised that fucker didn't fall through. I mean, he killed him. I was like, oh my God, Kalisto's dead. He was dead, y'all. I don't give a fuck what no one says. He got killed in that motherfucker. And they get Devon in the big ending. We haven't seen this move in a while, but it's when Big E puts the big ending down with the diving sort of chop assist from Kofi Kingston. Kalisto, man, it was still the Kalisto show. He had a great showing. We still need to get this motherfucker lucha. It's a shame that Big E, reckless ass, fucked up Sin Cara. But again, I guess that makes room for Kalisto to shine. And he did shine tonight. Even though he got killed, he did shine tonight. We find out that the WWE Network is now in Japan. They're going to get some more subscribers, guys. They're going to be up there in subscriptions. They're going to be at least, I would like to think, by the end of the year, around 1.5 million. They're going to be almost at 2 million. And then we come to the final match, the main event. What we've been waiting for, the cliffhanger to last week's Vince McMahon coming back and being like, I'm the special guest referee. You're putting that fucking belt up. Reigns versus Sheamus. The story is Vince. Vince tells an amazing story. He fast counts Sheamus. He looks away as Sheamus grabs the steel steps. A Samoan drop by Roman Reigns to Sheamus. and we get the slow count by Vince. And then he gets another pinfall, Roman Reigns, and he fucking, oh, something's in my eye. And then the third time he gets a pin, Vince just refuses to pin him. He just refuses to do the count. So then he Superman punches Vince. Then he spears fucking Roman Reigns. I mean, he spears Sheamus. As fucking... Okay, Reigns is screaming for another ref to come down. But as no referee comes, he continues to attack Sheamus. Bully Reigns is in the house. Then Bully Reigns goes after Vince. And then Steph comes down. He throws Vince McMahon into the ring. Because Steph actually stands on the ropes. He tosses old man Vince into the ropes as Stephanie McMahon flips and lands inside the ring. All of a sudden, 2 Bro kicks out of nowhere. And then Vince is too fucked up to make the count, so he calls for another ref, and guess who it is? It's Scott Armstrong. We ain't seen this motherfucker in a while because he's kind of in the pocket. He's the Earl Hebner of the WWE right now. He's in the pockets of fucking Vince and the rest of the fucking authority. But he's been on paid leave for months now, right? And he finally makes his grand return. Superman punched Sheamus, then a Superman punched Armstrong, and then John Cone comes out. He's the rogue ref. He comes out, he fucking does the 1, 2, 3 count. Roman Reigns retains. Fucking Vince jacks John Cone's jaw for being a fucking idiot ref. And then in a moment of fucking festivity, the unthinkable happened. Vince McMahon puts up the WWE belt in the Royal Rumble. So I could go on for days about how I feel about this. They have no trust in giving someone the number 1 contendership rub. In the Royal Rumble. Just to sum it up, I listened to the Solid Monster Sounds Off. That was one of the things he was hoping would happen. That actually the belt would be put in the Royal Rumble. And he got it right. He hit it right on the head. But it just goes to show that whoever the fuck is in the Royal Rumble now is like, no. It's not even worth watching now, really. Because we know that Roman Reigns is going to win. Hell, I sat there and thinking, I was like, man, Roman Reigns is going to win this motherfucker. Just how is he going to win it? That's all that matters. I really hope that this doesn't ruin the Royal Rumble. Again, it's pretty amazing. Maybe now the stakes are higher. But the way it's written now, it's that Roman Reigns is unstoppable. Stack all these odds against him, he's just going to win. He's going to win this Royal Rumble. Just to let you know, so he's back-to-back Royal Rumbles. They're going to try to throw some sort of weird curveball, but it's just not going to work. He's going to win. It's just a shame that traditionally, not since 1992, traditionally it's always been the number 1 contender will win the Royal Rumble and go off the face and be in the main event for WrestleMania. They're like, nah, not this year. And you know what? Yeah, just not this year. We'll see what happens, man. It's. I would like to know, if you're listening, I would like to know how you feel about the belt being put in the Royal Rumble. Are you optimistic or are you pessimistic? It's exciting nevertheless. But still, it's like, you're sacrificing some stuff right here. But nevertheless, still a great show. Good show. Wasn't good enough. San Antonio wasn't good enough place to have it in. That's all I say about that. And yeah, I got to wrap this up. Subscribe below. PJTW Central on Twitter. Subscribe, like, thumbs up, do all that stuff, and share with your friends. Share with your friends. Again, this is probably one of the more positive fucking Peter's Raw recaps I've done to date. All right? So, Everyone have a wonderful evening. Happy New Year. Yeah, this is the first Peter's Raw recap of the new year. Let's get these counts up, man. I need the help. Again, share, subscribe, all that shit. I will see you for the discussion with Jake on Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, episode 73, where we'll also review Wrestle Kingdom 10. All right, guys, have a good night. Watch out for those foreign objects.